lies have to run and hide. Fraser, have you ever seen a situation where the truth comes around and says, and then the lies?
I would take that from the Bible quote that in the absence of light, darkness will prevail. And so I have not seen a situation whereby, well, you will have to envisage a lie where the truth is clear, it's there to be seen. You will not have any iota of doubt. The truth has been established, and then you want to see an iota of lie prevailing over the truth. I don't think that's possible.
But to me here,
Yeah.
usually when truth comes out, the lies, they fight back.
Yes, well, it
In
depends.
fact, the lie fight vehemently.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. Yeah, there are situations of controversies. There are situations whereby the lie will tend to want to stay uh, devoid of, because there are times when people, it depends on what they want to hear. For example, if I say Emmanuel is an handsome man, and someone who is out there who is maybe is jealous of Emmanuel, that particular truth or that fact, he will not want to hear it. So he will believe in the lie that no, man is not handsome.
Well, let's leave this for to the viewers.
Definitely, for them to ponder upon it. As always, it's a food for thought to you, our esteemed viewers. But of course, in the words of a musician, the same musician, it's to not get meaning. Your last name, 2992. Alright, so that's coming up in the program this morning. We're going to quickly through on the menu. APC National Chairman Minkadu Mansari passes away on sad note for the public on this.
Very sad. And yesterday, I would say the APC was greeted with a bittersweet news.
Yes.
And earlier in the morning hours,
it was the birthday of the acting.
All those
the
acting
national
chairman,
chairman.
whilst people were celebrating, and
Yeah.
hours into the birthday,
Birthday.
then we saw
The
you know,
demise
the
of
demise of the substantive national chairman. Today is June 16, the day of the African child. We find out if the day is worth celebrating amidst ongoing xenophobic attacks on fellow Africans in South Africa.
And also in the program, we'll take a look at a recent video making rounds, of course, on social media and other platforms, where a traffic police officer was filmed slapping a tricycle rider, or better known in Sierra Leone as Keke rider. These issues are going to be trashed in the next 55 minutes in the program. Stay with us, grab a chair and sit close to your television, of course, or whatever smart device you're using to catch the program live. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone. Stay with us. We'll be back after this short break.
Well, the program you're watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone live on the SLBC. We start the conversation proper to our first headline story, which is a sad note. The opposition All People's Congress party has been plunged into deep mourning following a report of the death of its national chairman, Honorable Alhaji Minkairu Mansari, a veteran politician and one of the party's most influential figures. The Honorable Minkairu Mansari passed away on Monday, 15th June 2026. He was a long-serving politician, political heavyweight, has been a central figure in the APC leadership structure for years, having previously served as Minister of Labour and later as Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources before rising to become national chairman of the party from his time in parliament in the early 2000s and later extending into cabinet positions under the former APC government, where he built a reputation as a key strategist and party mobilizer. As national chairman, he was widely regarded as a stabilizing force within the APC, often calling for unity, internal discipline, and stronger organizational cohesion during periods of political tension. Party insiders credit him with playing a significant role in maintaining internal structures and guiding party operations through challenging electoral cycles. In the studio to talk more, we have a member of the media team of the APC, Alfred Minkailo Koma. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning CLO.
Good morning, Emmanuel. Good morning, SLBC. Delighted to be here.
So on behalf of the SLBC, we want to extend our deepest condolences to the APC for this huge loss.
Thank you. We are grateful.
It's earlier when we started, yesterday when I saw the death of Minkaru Mansai, then I made the statement. I said APC has been greeted with a bittersweet news, whilst the acting chairman is celebrating the birthday, and then the substantive chairman just passes away. When you receive the news of his demise, you know, how was the APC?
Automatically devastated, I must say. You know, I agree with you. We've been greeted with fatalities quite recently. We've lost a lot of prominent APC serving executive members. You know, I mean, quite recently, we saw in Tonkolimba, Kambia district, we lost a sitting member of parliament, Honorable Anesdura Kohoma. And then later in Port Loko, a sitting district council chairman, Sheikh Usako. And quite recently, in fact, we are yet to lay to rest or to bury Omega, who is the public relations officer of the APC in Port Loko district, and Honorable Lucinda from Komo district. We are yet to lay them to rest. So yesterday, the news came not as a surprise, because we are all aware, it's an open secret, that the chairman was out of the country for a very long period of time. He was sick, first in India and then in some other places, and then to one of the best hospitals in Dakar, Senegal. So yesterday, finally, we lost him. It did not come as a surprise because he has been sick for a very long period, but it came, it greeted us devastatingly, I must say. Like you rightly stated, Honorable Minkaru Mansai was one of the strongest pillars in the APC. At the time when the party was actually at the brink of collapse, he was able to hold the party together. I mean, this person is a unifier. I mean, he's not just a politician, but a unifier equally. He can negotiate, he can mediate, he can bring people together. I mean, he was able to transition the party from 2018 as chairman. Yeah, deputy chairman in 2018, but Ernest Baikoma was already retiring. So he was serving in that particular capacity. In 2023 February, he was elected as chairman. And so those were period the party was also contesting controversial elections. You remember, even after the 2023 elections, it came under serious attack by members of the APC that he was not ready to authorize a demonstration against government. He preferred to negotiate rather than to take to the street. So he came under serious attack. You remember, even the electoral justice movement within the APC that do believe that the 2023 elections were to be conducted again, also, saw an opportunity to attack him very seriously, but he was able to hold the party together. He never reacted. He was very compromising, trying to negotiate, bring everybody together. For some of us, we have a personal relationship with him. I have always regarded him as a living encyclopedia of modern day APC. Because whenever you have the opportunity to engage with him, he can not only give you tutorial, but can also guide you to shape your political pathway. It tells you about Shaka Stevens, the S.I. Kuroma, the C.A. Kamatelo, because he had the opportunity to serve in them at a very young age. And so he rose through the ranks of the party. He was National Youth League President of the All People's Congress, and then he was chairman of the Western Region, deputy chairman of the party, before he was elected national chairman and chief executive officer of the APC. So this is an individual with vast knowledge. I mean, the vacuum cannot be easily replaced. His leadership qualities are unmatched. I mean, we pray that we can get another Kailu Mansari in the APC, but it is difficult. I mean, for the purpose of this discussion and for the consumption of our membership, I want you to permit me give this obituary announcement. If it is possible, yes. Thank you. Obituary announcement dated the 15th, 6th month 2026. The All People's Congress APC regrets to announce the passing of its national chairman and chief executive officer, Honorable Alhaji Kailu Mansari, which sad event occurred on Monday, 15th June 2026 in Dakar, Senegal. The family of the late Honorable Alhaji Kailu Mansari and the leadership of the APC are currently making arrangements for the repatriation of his remains to Sierra Leone for a befitting Islamic burial. A detailed program, including timelines and funeral arrangements, will be announced in due course. Alhaji Kailu Mansari served the APC with distinction in several capacities over many years. He rose through the rank from President of the National Youth League to Western Region Chairman, Deputy National Chairman, and ultimately National Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the party until his passing. Beyond his immense contributions to the APC, Honorable Alhaji Kailu Mansari serves Sierra Leone with dedication and patriotism under the administration of President Ernest Bai Koroma, holding positions of Minister of Labour and Social Security and Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. Honorable Alhaji Kailu Mansari was an accomplished statesman, a loyal party man, and a respected national figure whose wisdom, humility, and service touched countless lives. His passing is a tremendous loss not only to the APC family but to Sierra Leone as a whole. The APC extends its deepest condolences to his wife, children, relatives, friends, and all those mourning this great loss. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive his shortcomings, shower his mercy upon him, and grant him Jannatul Firdaus. Funeral arrangements will be announced later. Signed, Lawyer Lansana Dumbuya, National Secretary General of the All People's Congress.
All right. On that note, of course, we've just heard from you reading the presser from the party, a very sad one there. We, like Emmanuel said, we want to convey condolences to the party and to the bereaved family. But just to speak on his personality, the well-given and prolific political figure within the APC, who does not only serve as the national chairman of the party, but of course you highlighted several roles he has served in the party in a sister program, Morning Coffee. The word you used, devastating, is indeed a very strong one for the party as of this moment. But you said the party is also looking forward to see, looking forward for someone who will fill that gap and that personality of another Kailu Mansari. What really made him so special within your party?
Yes, I am coming to what makes him special, but before I escape this one, let me also add that aside the fact that it has been stated that he served as both Minister of Labour and Minister of Mines, yes. He was also Honourable Member of Parliament for Constituency 103, now Constituency 121. And this constituency at the time covered Clinton, Kisibrook, part of Rabe, and some other areas, in the East End. I can vividly remember when I was a student at Rabe College, the Honorable Kailu Mansari will drive up, at Mount Oyel, Rabe College, drop his car, and we will accompany him through Commander Farm, going down to Frabe mountain areas. To campaign in 2006. He was still running for Member of Parliament in 2006. And so after the elections in 2007, he was now appointed minister, and then he left parliament to now serve as minister. I think that was not captured in the obituary announcement. I just want to add it. Yes, I mean, we are devastated because of the fact that this is a person that in the midst of controversies is always calm. When you think this is a very difficult situation to be addressed by the party, it may either lead to going to the PPRC or to even going to court. The Honorable Minkailu Mansare will handle that situation to the satisfaction of everybody. So to have that type of leader who is always very calm, who can navigate through negotiations and mediation and be able to calm party members notwithstanding the circumstance, that individual is not easy to replace. Aside that, he has been also very generous. In some instances, he can spend his personal resources to, undertake party activities. Even when members of the party can approach him for their personal, needs, he can address. He pays a lot of school fees for individuals. He has supported the party in no small ways. So to get that kind of individual to serve as leader of your party is very difficult. Aside the fact that he was a politician, he was also a businessman. He was an insurance broker. He has employed a lot of people. He was into many different businesses, and he created employment for a lot of people. To get his replacement is not easy. Thus, using the word devastating. Again, you should understand that we are at a period of just transition in the party. Less than 48 hours ago, we announced that on the 30th, we are going to commence our constituency elections. Yeah? And then, without people digesting that news properly, come the death of our national chairman. Yes. So again, to transition a party without the national chairman, the substantive that was elected. I am not holding brief for anyone. The Honorable Alhaji Usman Fode Ansane, he has also played a very crucial role. He's also very steady-headed. He has also played a role that is to the satisfaction of us, the members. Okay. But the Minkailu Mansare of our time cannot be easily replaced.
All right. So just like you were saying, he played a role that to many dissatisfaction of party supporters. The other day we were in the studio whereby I mistakenly called you Minkailu Mansare, and you laughed about it and you jokingly said maybe I'm envisaging you to want to be later. You might want to be the national chairman of the party because that's the position, that's the name of your national chairman. But in as much as tributes are really coming in to sympathize not just the APC but the bereaved family, and of course this is a national loss. But critics of the late man have really been pointing accusing fingers on him to be very soft and someone who is not firm in making decisions, and all to the peril of the People's Congress Party. In response, what would be your comment on that?
Yeah, well, it is their right to criticize. Leaders are subjected to scrutiny. The fact of the matter is, any leader, wheresoever, can go through criticism. But then, the Honorable Minkailu Mansare is a different person from the individual you just see from the surface. Okay. When you interact with him, you will understand that he's very in-depth. He's tall. He's always very calm. But he's a soft power negotiator. Yeah, he does not impose. He does not believe in violence. He believes in negotiation. But again, let me tell you, my brother, there are certain results you can achieve through negotiation without being very violent. The Honorable Minkailu Mansare was able to hold the party together. He came under attack immediately after the 2023 elections. A lot of people were anticipating a violent demonstration from the APC. They were saying he has to come out and speak very strongly to criticize government, but he believes in negotiation. The Honorable Minkailu Mansare was a very fine talker. He was a very strong debater. For those who served with him in parliament, they can attest to that. Even when he addresses the APC crowd, most journalists, including Samura, you have covered a lot of our press conferences. Yeah. He's very intelligent. He was very intelligent, a very good talker. He can debate on issues very well. He can criticize government constructively, but he was not a violent person. So some people were actually misunderstanding him. He cannot be second guessed. That was the Honorable Minkailu.
Going to stay with us in the program is Alfred Minkailu Kuruma. of course, a member of the All People's Congress Media and Publicity team, and talking to us there on the demise of their national chairman, Honorable Minkailu Mansari, who passed on yesterday. We continue to send our condolences to the All People's Congress Party and to the bereaved family. Now to another issue in the program. As you know, it's today is June 16th, the Day of the African Child, observed every year, and it's a day to honor the resilience of children and reflect on the progress made in ensuring their rights across Africa. The Day of the African Child was established out of a tragic incident in response to the Soweto uprising on 16 June 1976, when thousands of black school children in South Africa protested against poor educational conditions and the imposition of Afrikaans as the language of institution. The protest ended in violence and loss of young lives, inspiring the Organization of Africa Unity, OAU then, and now Africa Union, to create this day to commemorate the courage of those children and to champion the well-being of all African children. The African Charter, a document with 48 articles, outlines the rights and responsibility of children in Africa. It serves as a roadmap for governments and communities, ensuring children's protection, survival, development, and participation in society. By recognizing children as rights holders, it calls on government to uphold these essential provisions. But recent protests in April and May, citizen-led groups like March and March-organized demonstrations in major cities such as Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Durban to demand the removal of undocumented foreigners, as they label them. These protests frequently escalate into looting and violence in South Africa. Several thousand migrants have been forced from their homes, prompting many to camp outside police stations and community centers for protection. Recent clashes have resulted in deaths of foreign nationals, including Mozambican and Ethiopian citizens, prompting several African countries such as Nigeria, Malawi, and Mozambique to conduct repatriation flights for their safety. Xenophobia in South Africa remains a recurring crisis, criticized sporadic waves of violence and anti-migrant protests targeting African, Asian, and foreign nationals. Tensions are largely driven by high unemployment, poverty, competition for limited resources, with migrants frequently segregating for border and socioeconomic challenges. But to bring us to the question, is it okay to continue with the celebration of or observance of the Day of the African Child? That's a question we put forward to our guest this morning, who is Molku S. Bangura, a business consultant, who is also a child rights advocate. Good morning, Mr. Bangura. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Oh, very well. Of course, you've had the marathon intro. We've read around the then significance, though it's still significant insofar as protecting the right of African children is concerned. But for many people, they view this as it's stemming from the uprising in Soweto in 1976, which laid the groundwork or the cause for us to be observing the day as a day in which the rights of children should be enforced, and of course we should reconsider making them the thinking around that and the fact that they should be right holders and not to be segregated or ostracized in society. But so far so good with the spate of xenophobic attack from South Africa on our African brothers and sisters. Is it worth celebrating or observing, in your view?
No. Just a quick correction. I'm not a child right advocate. I'm sorry about that. I am a talk show host. I host the Talk to M show on Epic Radio every Tuesday, and I'm also a social commentator. So yeah, on top of the business consultancy.
Definitely. I believe all that goes with
I know.
the rights, the protection and advocacy of children too.
Yes, thanks for the question. It's very elaborate, and you really built the foundation. I wanted to start, from
From the background,
but you already did that for me, so that was a perfect intro. Yes, I do not support the continuation of celebrating the African Child's Day for a simple reason. Xenophobia is basically the fear of foreigners, the fear of strange people, the fear of quote unquote foreign people in your country. And with that definition, it's clear that South Africans are afraid of foreigners. And now, I also have to be very careful. And the way the South Africans are wording it, right? They are saying they are fearful of their limited resources. Foreigners are taking over their resources. Foreigners are taking over their jobs. Foreigners are taking over their country, and foreigners are contributing to their increased crime rate, which is quite funny. I do not. I feel like it's an overestimation. They're kind of like oversimplifying the problem. I understand immigration is always a challenge in every country in the world, but going to the extent of chasing away foreigners, taking the law by your own hand, and having these groups of rogue citizens saying they're chasing after foreigners, killing people. In 2009, it was so brutal that somebody was actually burnt alive. Shops were being vandalized. I think that's not acceptable, because the people you termed foreigners stood for you when you guys were discriminated against by the Africans. When the apartheid, you suffered from the hands of the 3% Africans that exist in South Africa. Look, 3% of South Africans are white, which is the Africans. They actually own 80% of the resources. Why aren't they chasing them out and calling them foreigners? Instead, they're chasing other black Africans, people that are coming there, immigrating to their country, having their own shops, making life and living for themselves. You want these people out, and you were taking the law in your hand. These were the same people that stood for you. One of my favorite musician in the world, Paul Simon. I don't know if you know Paul Simon, right? You Can Call Me Out. It's a beautiful song. Yeah. Paul Simon did a whole concert when he released his in 1989 album. He did that album in Zimbabwe, a whole concert. Yeah. And part of the money he generated from that concert went towards the fight against the apartheid regime. He supported the movement of the South African people. He's a foreigner. He's not even a South African, right? See how much these people fought for you. And that whole concert was attended by predominantly, Zimbabweans. And now you are chasing away Zimbabweans, saying these guys are taking over the country. It's repugnant. It's abhorrent. It's distasteful. I do not like to see what's happening. They're sending the wrong message. We are the only race in the world that do not have a place in any continent in this world. Black people. We can't run away from it. You go to the US, they're chasing after us. You go to Europe, they have laws that are, discriminating against us.
And Marco,
they have
just to speak to that before Emmanuel comes in, the space of this I've really seen, other momentum taking place in other parts of the world, like in Norway, in other European nations. You see, they have started chasing out even Africans, even in the UK and other places. We also, what is happening in America, for example, Donald Trump has been chasing quote unquote undocumented, but these are black people, sending them back to Africa.
Like I said, it's an oversimplification of the problem. They're kind of bundling everything. I understand if you're targeting illegal immigrants, right? But the whole conversation is a little bit muddy when they can't isolate who is an illegal immigrant and who is a legal immigrant. Because what we're seeing in South Africa, people that actually have legal documentation to stay, live, and work in the South Africans are being chased away, right? They are being chased away in the whole conversation. So clearly, you are not looking to chase after illegal immigrants. You just don't want foreigners in the country. And for me, I do not like it, and I do not see the reason why we should commemorate an event that happened, even though it's sad. We all know what happened in 1976 should never happen in any country, in any dispensation. It's wrong. I do not support it, but everybody came together, the whole entire Africa came together, supported it. Even the OAU at the time stood up and say and declared in 1991, say, let's support these people. And you are turning your back, these same people that fought for you. I don't see the reason. Now it's about time we, as Leon, let's focus on our dates, most important dates, right? January 18, when the war ended, when Pakaba declared war on them. Let's focus on those dates. March 23rd, when the war started in 1991. Let's start focusing on those important dates and building events that are memorable to kids. Look, my childhood is fragmented because now June 16 I have this mental in my head that my mom used to dress me in African clothes and then I go to school and watch Sarafina. Man, my childhood is a little bit messed up a little bit right now because of that whole thing. I need to start thinking about March 20 and January 18 and teaching our kids in the next generation to come. Yes.
Monko, once you are advocating or saying that we should discontinue or
yes.
the country should discontinue the celebrations of the African child. When you look at the rights group, the people that are into this xenophobia, one of the things that they are actively campaigning for was for the South African government to put up very strict immigration laws, because it is not a secret that South Africa, the crime rate is very high. So this is one of their petitions saying that put strict immigration law because of the influx of these foreigners. This is the reason why the crime rate is going up sporadically.
Yes.
So don't you think that they are right in their own way to put up such act, because if they think the government was not listening to them as at the time they were being diplomatic?
As citizens, taking the law in your hands is never right. Okay. You're basically you're rubber stamping gangs. You're rubber stamping. I'm going blank with that. I'm looking for the right language, but it's never right. What they should have done is, if there are weak immigration laws, I think they have a way to engage the administration of Cyril Ramaphosa and say, look, we have weak immigration laws that foreigners are exploiting and they're coming into our country and then having access to all these resources. And by the way, you mentioned crime. Statistically, there is a statistics that says 90% of the crimes committed in South Africa are committed by locals, by South Africans. And this is because of the high inequality. Right, when you go to South Africa, you go to, for instance, Johannesburg, right? You see a beautiful neighborhood full of white people, very wealthy and rich, and then just look left, you will see slums. Thousands of people, poor and disenfranchised, living in suffering and bondage, right? They don't have anything, like nothing. That's a stark reality of the inequality that exists in South Africa. And so what happens is, those people that are poor and disenfranchised, they're gonna come for the rich and say, I want what you have, because you didn't give me access, you didn't give me opportunity, now I'm going to take what you have by force. And that's exactly what's happening in South Africa. That needs to be addressed. That's the issue. If they have issue with their laws, they should focus on discussing, having conversations with their government,
so
not the immigrants.
Munku, I want to put a hold there. When you look at Sierra Leone, often when we have violence that erupts, people say, okay, it's the youths that are into this violence.
Yeah.
But when you look at the people that are fueling the violence,
Yeah.
it's not actually the youths, it's the people that are very influential.
Yeah.
So don't you think that it's the same thing that is happening in South Africa, wherein the South Africans, as they become more violent because someone behind the scene who is not a South African is fueling the violence?
Well, I can't, that's an assertion I cannot justify, because I don't have the evidence to prove that whoever is behind it or supporting it is not South African. Okay, let's make this clear. Not everybody in South Africa is xenophobic. I have very good South African friends, right? In fact, I know of a Sierra Leonean that is in South. I cannot mention his name now. We talked about it. He's doing extremely well in South Africa, right? He basically advises the South African government in the technology aspects of things. He have a school there, right? He's running, like he's from Sierra Leone right now. He's currently not in Sierra Leone at the moment, but he's doing so well there. Now, I can't say for a fact that yes, a South African, somebody who's not a South African is behind this. What I can tell you is yes, there are always people at the back that are doing all of these things. Okay. What the government, what I'm expecting Cyril Ramaphosa to do is bring those people to justice. If he really wants to stop this, his statements have been very soft, being very indirect. He's not actually communicating to people. He's not telling us that he's not taking a firm position. We need C. Ramaphosa to take a firm position, hold these people to account. The leaders, those that are perpetrating these things, bring them to justice to stop, because this has been going on for quite over 10, 15 years. So,
Molko, thank you very much. Going to stay with us in the program is Molko S. Bangura, of course, the talk show host, social commentator, and of course, a business consultant, taking us through, and of course, why he thinks that we should discontinue the celebration, or better still, commemoration of the Day of the African Child, which we used to commemorate on this fateful day on 16th June. Well, it's now time for us to take our health tip into this edition of the program. Our health tip is on Lyme disease. What you need to know on Lyme disease is the most common insect-borne illness in the US. It's spread by black-legged ticks. It often starts with rash, fever, chills, and aches. Early antibiotics can cure it, whereby delayed treatment can cause lasting complications if you fail to do the needful. Well, yeah, it's a short video for you to watch and learn.
We focus on ticks, and Lyme disease gets the lion's share of the attention because it is the #1 vector-borne illness in the United States. The CDC estimates over 450,000 cases a year in the U.S. Lyme disease is carried by the black-legged tick, the Ixodes tick. Things we're looking for early on in an illness is rash, fevers and chills, aches and pains in a majority of cases, but not all, causing that very recognizable bullseye rash. Luckily, it doesn't cause a high degree of mortality, so it doesn't outright kill, but the burden of morbidity, so the burden of and the chances of ongoing and chronic illness and pain and discomfort is pretty high. And especially we take that in the context of how difficult Lyme can be to detect. We have tests, but the way that your body's immune system reacts, it is not always easy to tell whether the symptoms that a patient, a person is feeling is really from a Lyme infection or some other cause. With Lyme disease, we want to catch in that initial phase, because if we treat with antibiotics, we can cure patients and never, have further problems. If we don't catch it in that initial phase, goes on to the more dangerous secondary and tertiary phases, and at those points we're starting to introduce risks such as like meningitis, heart blocks and rhythm dysfunction of the cardiac system, arthritis developing in otherwise totally healthy 10-year-olds. The disease, in that secondary and tertiary phase, we can treat and kill the bacteria still at that point, but by then, a lot of times the damage to your immune system or those tissues is already done, and there's no way, no great and easy way to undo that damage. Whereas in the primary phase of infection, we're talking, system tissue, and antibiotics are very effective.
Welcome back. The program you're watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, reaching you live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation Television on 31 and across our social media streaming platforms. We welcome back from that short health tip on Lyme disease, and we hope those tips you've seen there, and you take them into due consideration. Manuel?
Yes, we go over to another issue, which is also a topical issue. Public outrage is mounting across social media platforms following the emergence of a video showing a physical altercation between a Sierra Leone police officer and a local tricycle or keke rider. The video, which has been widely shared, captures a tense standoff on a public street that rapidly escalates into violence. In the footage, a traffic police officer is seen confronting a young keke rider wearing an orange safety vest over a white hoodie. The two exchange heated words while standing next to a yellow commercial tricycle owned by the rider. The confrontation turns physical when the police officer is captured raising his hand and forcefully slapping the keke rider across the face. The rider, visibly shaking and angry, begins shouting at the officer, repeatedly asking onlookers and bystanders if they witnessed the assault. The footage has triggered a wave of condemnation online, with citizens calling out the officer's behavior as an abuse of power and an unacceptable use of force. Many social media users are demanding immediate accountability, arguing that law enforcement officers should diffuse conflict rather than initiate violence. Well, in the studio to talk more, we have been joined by Ibrahim Seri, the national president for the Sierra Leone Commercial Tricycle Riders Union. Please note, the police rep did not make it to the program this morning. The SLBC will make frantic effort to also get the police the side of the police, but they did not make it to the program this morning. But we have the president of the Commercial Tricycle Riders Union. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Good Morning, Sir.
Yeah, good morning, moderator. Good morning, listeners.
So, Mr. Said, this video, when you see this video, how did your executive receive it?
Well, it's unfortunate, to be honest, because I was in a meeting. I have a call from the National Charity and the National Treasurer. Then I decided to rush to the scene so that I get first-hand information about the incident.
So what is the first-hand information about the incident? What went wrong?
Well, in the first place, I will discuss this in two or fourfold. Firstly, it's about the riders aspect, the police aspect, the media, and the union, together with the police management, the way they handle the issue. In the first place, the rider's name is Joseph Abubakar Ojubela. That is the name of the rider, Abubakar Ojubela. And the police officer's name is Joseph Bustin Blair. Yeah, the rider was coming from town with an empty keke. Approached the lights at Congo Cross by the roundabout. Well, he stood by the street lights because the street light indicates red. But the police officer was not around. When he came in around the street lights, so to the time the police officer approached the area, then according to the rider, he informed me that because I asked the rider what's transpired in the police cell. So the rider told me the police officer was approaching his keke. Yeah, but coincidentally for the rider, the green light appeared. But I think the police officer almost on the verge of arresting the keke, but because the lights indicate green, then the rider pulled off. Then the police officer, Joseph Boston Blair, used a commercial keke, a commercial bike to trace this particular rider. And he chased him, he blocked him and parked him at the corner. So because the police officer, to my information I got, he was annoyed by indicating, "You want bang me in Creole? You want bang me?" So with that vexation, he slapped the rider. That one was not captured in the video. Yeah. So the rider was annoyed. He said, "What did happen? What I do? What I don't do you?" because I believe as a professional police officer, if you arrest somebody, ask him for relevant documents, you inspect, you show the offense, you know, but by just doing physical assault is unprofessional. But I will not defend per se, but I will continue to explain exactly what transpired.
So you've explained what transpired.
Yeah.
And when the police officers finally stopped the keke rider, before slapping him, did the police officer in any way ask the keke rider for his documents or checked the keke before making that attempt?
No, that one did not happen. The police officer approached the rider, I repeat, said, "You see, you want bang me?" You see, I think that aggravates the police officer to, first of all, effect that force by slapping the rider. You see, and the rider had to ask, he said, "Why did you slap me? Which I don't do you?" So that led to the confrontation.
Alright, so Mr. Say, of course, you've given, well, in your words, it's a first-hand information, a background as to what really transpired between that keke rider and the police officer in question. But away from the incident, although it has really generated much angry reaction, I would say, by citizens online and in other platforms, what was the action of your organization to really engage with the Sierra Leone police and to see how best you, can inquire into the incident and for to be taken? Because a lot of citizens are even calling for the dismissal of this particular police officer, saying using of physical force is not part of implementing the law.
Sure. Thank you for that question. And to be honest, it's rather unfortunate. This particular police officer was a very nice gentleman, to be honest. I'm about to even give him an award when I organize my program by December. His name is in my record.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, to be honest. He's a fine gentleman.
So was this coming as a
very disappointing indeed?
Okay.
So
I know by this particular action his name is going to be removed.
Well, we'll think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem to be very calm about the issue. Is it that the welfare of your members is not really matter in this situation?
That
or
matters.
You don't want to, you are trivializing the issue?
No, we handle such matter professionally as union.
Okay.
If we say we just continue to listen to the public, maybe you might be say you take the wrong moves.
You know why it matters to
a
me?
responsible executive.
Because for people out there, you might be in your office. These are things that people, citizens, they see on a normal basis. It's so for some people, some citizens are not even surprised to really have seen this because they come across incidents like this on a daily basis, whereby it's either they use baton on riders or they will forcefully arrest them or drag them to stations or whatever. So these are really issues. But the question I want to put to you is, what are you going to be doing about this issue?
For this issue as a union, in the first place, we reach out to the DTO in charge.
Okay.
The DTO is DSP County. So first of all, also brief me, because we want to know from the police angle what actually transpired. Yeah, but you know, police, they will not talk to you immediately. They will say, wait first. We are investigating. So I decided again with my executives, because in Freetown we segment the Keke Riders Union into 4. We have the West District, headed by Musa Batoronka. We have the Central District, headed by Alaji Eskamara. We have the East District, Alassane Toure, and of course by Kama Sanko Western area. This segment will help me as president to coordinate the affairs. Where there is incidents, they will proactively come in to solve the situation. So to the time I reached to the incident or the crime scene, there was already executive around. Yeah, so that is the first intervention. To have the first-hand information, we rushed to the Central Police again to try to see the Director of Traffic, but I think it was an exam, so we could not meet the
So as
Director
of
of
now, you are
Traffic.
still using diplomatic
So,
means.
of course, because I go again, I decided to make a pronouncement to our riders that the situation will be handled professionally. Let them trust the Keke Union executive. We are in good working relationship with the police. IGP is always assisting the Keke riders when necessary.
So
that
is the rider in question in detention?
He was in detention, but by late yesterday, I'm lucky to grant a bail for the rider.
So after being physically manhandled, he was also detained.
Yes,
Was there a notice from your organization to really condemn the act in the first place? What really transpired? Was there?
Well, to condemn the act?
Yes.
Or the
incident that happened.
Well,
because it was so unsightly. It was, like you said, it was rather unfortunate. It should have not happened.
Yes. Well, you see, incident of this nature, we have to be professional because it's about the image of the police. In the first place, when you report such incidents,
let's move away, Mr. Sey. Let's move away from the report. You've seen. This is not an need something. Yes. What we are asking here is it's about what is in the public. You've seen already what happened.
Sure.
From that particular aspect, we wanted to know whether you condemn the incident in entirety.
Of course.
Good. That's what we are doing.
To be honest, I just have to condemn because those type of policing, to me, is an olden days type of policing.
Oh, right. Okay, on that note,
especially when the IGP is transforming
the police,
the force from a force
to a service.
To a service.
All right. Thank you very much. On that note, continue to stay us in the program is Ibrahim Sey, the National President for Keke Riders Association in Sierra Leone. Quickly before going over to the newspaper segment, of course, Mikhail, you've been silent for a while. Of course, let's know when is there going to be, when as a party are you going to be opening the book of condolence for the late national chairman of the party?
Yeah, the party will communicate, but I believe for a book of condolence should be effective immediately. People are visiting the party office and some are visiting the home as we speak.
Okay.
We have seen an influx of sympathizers from across the country, visiting the home and the party office as well. So it is going to continue.
Okay, continue in the program. We will now quickly move over to another segments in the program, the review of the front pages of our local tablets. For that, I begin with the Standard Times newspaper. It opens with a banner headline, "A Friday of Unity at the Bashariya Masjid." Honorable Tawakonte ejects Aminata and Sons tax deal. Day of the African Child 2026, ensuring safe water and sanitation for every child in Sierra Leone. Our stories you can find on the front page of Standard Times.
The first one has a satellite newspaper that says, for illegal encroachment in protected areas, President Bio orders strict action. These stories plus more you find in the satellite newspaper.
Roll Call Express on Satellite newspaper has on its front page HF advocates for public debate relief at 2026 CSPUN conference. Minister of Social Welfare champions disability inclusion. First 100 days of 300 days of activism. Health Ministry reduces maternal and child deaths. Contradiction too big to ignore. Championing girls' rights whilst celebrating FGM. Our stories you can find on the front page of Roll Call newspaper, which happens to be my final paper.
Well, the final one I have there is the Gleaner newspaper, and it says, fight against transnational organized crime. Chief Minister calls for concrete Sierra Leone Netherlands partnership. These stories plus more you find in the Gleaner newspaper. Viewers will not inform you that the views earlier they do not reflect the views of the SMBC. We are merely reviewing the headlines of our local tabloids. And we still have Milku with us in the studio. Milku, in 30 seconds, what will be your parting shot to people out there and the government as a whole?
Well, I believe in the policy and principle of diplomatic reciprocity. In this case, if this continues and the South African governments are not willing to bring those perpetrators to justice, then I believe we should think about doing something. Heck, South Africa is not doing anything. Well, basically, they don't have a fully functional embassy in Sierra Leone, right? They only have a consulate here. They don't have one of the biggest businesses. They have businesses. ShopRite is not here in Sierra Leone. We don't have MTN. We only have DSTV multinational here, and West Africa is where the largest customer base is. If they are treating us like that, then we could start having second thoughts about putting the plug with their license.
Marco, just before letting you go, of course, when we mentioned the issue we are dealing with regards to the police officer and the KK rider, we laughed about it. Must we, as a citizen, be seeing, our law enforcement using violence in
No, not at all. But the spirit of humanity came to my mind. Like, I know that KK rider, they don't really make the guy piss off and make it slap him, but it's no excuse. He is the law. He has to uphold the law. He has to maintain. It's part of their training. He has to maintain calm. He has to understand how to de-escalate, which is actually a skill you're trained to do. And he must stay calm at all times and try to handle matters, peacefully and carefully. But I understand.
Thanks very much. This is Morocco Bambua, talk show host and of course social media analyst and business consultant. Mr. Ibrahim Sey, before going in less than 30 seconds, what will be a level of assurance to constituent your members?
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, I continue to tell my constituents to be calm, to be peaceful, because we have an IGP that is very robust, that is very hardworking. It's a listening IGP. So thanks to the government for giving us the podium, the trainings, especially from the Peace Commission. You see, we are implementing exactly. We are non-violence organization.
Thank you very much, viewers. This is how the Golden Cut it of today's edition of Good Morning Sierra. I want to say a very big thank you to the production crew, especially our producer, Daphne Zainab Kama. But before we let it be cut again, it's from American musician Ice Cube, and it says, truth is the ultimate power. When the truth comes around, all the lies have to run. I have been Emmanuel Sabah, stay good on the service.
And I'm Tennis Fraser. The program returns tomorrow. Goodbye. Have a splendid day.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available Brown Gold Natural Cocoa Powder, Sunny Gold Brown Sugar, Neat Fufu Flour, Shito, Pisa and Moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
I run a small logistics company. Every cent counts. I didn't think I needed a fuel card until I got the Cornex fuel card. Now, I track exactly how much fuel my fleet uses, in real time. And when my wife or kids need fuel, no cash, no stress. It's safe, accepted nationwide, and I control how much goes on each card. At the end of the month, I see the savings, real savings. Cornex fuel card. I didn't know I needed it. Now, I can't run my business or family without it. Fuel smart. Live smart. Visit any Cornex filling station to sign off, or any Cornex office to get your card.